Good evening, and welcome to the Timosha Family Music Building and this evening's performance by the Ohio State Symphonic Band. My name is Zach Grant, and I have the privilege of serving as president of the band's student board. We are grateful that you have chosen to spend time with us for this performance we call Artful Conversation. In her book, Reclaiming Conversation, The Power of Talk in a Digital Age, author Sherry Turkle states, "Face-to-face conversation is the most human and humanizing thing we do. Fully present to one another, we learn to listen. It's where we develop the capacity for empathy. It's where we experience the joy of being heard and of being understood." Each of the compositions you'll hear this evening is rooted in conversation, either between musical ideas, composers, performers, or in the case of our final composition, folk singers from more than 100 years ago. Additionally, between each of the Symphonic Band selections, you'll hear an interlude created and performed by our guest artists from the New York City-based ensemble ShoutHouse. To a certain extent, their interludes also serve as artistic conversation between the large ensemble compositions on the program. We are also making space in a few key moments this evening for you to have conversation with one another and the performers about what you have heard and are experiencing as you listen. You'll be prompted when to do so through messaging on the projection screen above the musicians. We also hope that you will continue conversation with one another and greet the performers at a reception in rehearsal room N160 following the performance. We are fortunate beyond words to share the performance tonight with three remarkable guest artists. Composer and pianist Will Healy, vocalist Hannah Zazzaro, and emcee Dizzy Senze bring insights into the world through their artistry. While you will witness their individual artistry this evening, you'll also be treated to their collective imprint in the premiere of a composition by Will Healy entitled Noctuary for a Day. Symphonic Band was honored to be part of the consortium of college and university bands that brought that composition to life. You'll hear more about the piece from Mr. Healy later in the program. Special thanks to the Ohio State Council on Student Affairs and the Beta Xi chapter of Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia Music Fraternity for their significant support of this evening's performance, to members of stage crew, audio and lighting crew, and live stream crew, School of Music University faculty, staff, and administration for their support, and to each of you for being here and taking part in Artful Conversation with the musicians of Symphonic Band. Enjoy the performance.
Good evening to you all, as I wrestle with the stand. As Zach mentioned to you in his opening comments, we are so fortunate to be able to be an institution, and in this case an ensemble, that has the opportunity to bring new music into being. And this consortium that we joined about a year and a half or so ago to bring the next composition that you'll hear on tonight's program into being has been an absolute joy to be part of. And all of that joy has been heightened up massively in the last 24 hours when we welcomed to our campus the composer of that piece and then the two soloists that you'll have the opportunity to hear perform in that as well. Rather than me tell you at all about this piece, we thought with the composer here, it makes perfect sense for, in this case, him to share those comments with you. So would you please help welcome to the microphone, a big Buckeye welcome to composer Will Healy.
Hello, it's so great to be here in Ohio State. Thank you to Scott and to the band for having me. It's been really great the past few days, not just being here and rehearsing with the band. I also got a chance to meet with the composers and get to know many sides of this incredible music school, so thank you for that. This piece has a sort of unusual structure. It's structured as a dream sequence. So we have narrators in the form of our MC and singer who lead us through this sort of dreamlike journey. It's called Noctuary for a Day. A noctuary is a night journal. It's simply something where you would write down your thoughts, memories, and ideas that you might have in the darkness. And I just wanted to talk for a moment about how this piece came to be, why it's this certain setup of different styles and soloists. I'm a composer. I'm also a pianist. You may have noticed I was playing piano over there before. And one of the things that I love most about being a composer, and something that really drew me toward the world of composition, was collaborating with different people, finding people whose music and style I really loved working with, and figuring out ways to write for them and make music together, improvise. And so two of those people are certainly Hannah Zazzaro, an incredible singer who I met in New York 10 years ago, who has just an amazing style and somebody who I just could always hear her voice as I was writing music, and I really wanted to explore her range. Dizzy Senze, who's not only an incredible rapper, also an amazing freestyler and improviser. So I was interested in working with people like them on pieces like this. So I formed a group called ShoutHouse, which has musicians from different genres, and over time I've gotten a chance to write ShoutHouse style pieces for wind ensembles and choirs and other groups. A little bit about why it's called Noctuary for a Day. Ade Ra was the first MC who I worked with in ShoutHouse. She and I were in an Afrobeat hip-hop band when I was in my early 20s and in undergrad. And unfortunately, she passed away a couple of years ago, and I wanted to honor our collaboration through this piece. She was somebody who I worked with quite a lot when I was in my early 20s, somebody who showed me that, you know, she would freestyle while I was improvising on the piano. When I was like 21 or so, I lived in a room in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, that was so small that I had a piano and I had a mattress under the piano. The life of an artist. You have more space here in Ohio than we do. And so Ade and I would go to my room and improvise. In that space, I would play some kind of classical arpeggiated textures, and she would freestyle. And she really opened my eyes to the kinds of possibilities and collaborations that you could have as a composer. When I heard that I would have the chance to write this piece, commissioned not only by Ohio State, but a consortium of different schools around the country, I was inspired by the idea of using Ade's words posthumously, finding her lyrics that she had written in the form of poetry, songs on old hard drives, and social media posts as the singer's texts for the piece. So everything that Hannah sings was written by Ade. Many of them had this sort of dream-like themes, so I found that the idea of a noctuary would really tie it all together. The different MCs on the piece, the featured MCs, respond to that text. So Dizzy wrote all of her own lyrics. This is the premiere first performance of Dizzy's version of Noctuary for a Day. And so in the end, we sort of have three different night journals in this piece. There's Hannah's words, a day's words, Dizzy's lyrics, and my music for the band. So feel free to have your own night journey on this. I hope you stay awake for this night journey, but enjoy the piece, and please welcome to the stage Hannah Zazzaro and Dizzy Senze.
I'm traveling through worlds and rooms old and new. Do you see me too? My mind in every color, I'll pass through the sand. Mind maps bridging the gaps. Dreamscapes I'm traveling through. Worlds and rooms. Do you see me too?
First seen in the projects like a hot water, like our options, babbling fiends. What a godsend, chatting lost dreams. False prophets, nonsense mixed with gossip. The diction is laced with a bit of consciousness spitting. A king will rise with a vision, non-traditional, different. Climbing out a barrel that's filled with blue shells. Cruising down Rainbow Road, they work too well. Rolling with the punches could result with a few swells. Shadow boxing demons could bequeath you with new L's. Losses are humbling, winnings are nothing. And for the morals that you talk about, just truthfully lumbering in the land of the lost and found. Seeing treasure, roses in the concrete, gathered all together. Aiming at the stars, try to harvest their power. The seasons start to change, the gardens became filled with the
Moonflower with roots in the stars, unparted and free, blooming in the night glow. Moonflower, if words were birds, gilded wings unopened. Sparks in the distance, a sacred hymn.
Sparks in the distance, triggered by ambition. Could it be the resistance letting me up? Sparks in the distance, triggered by ammunition. Step into their position, lighting me up. Sparks in the distance, triggered by ambition. Could it be the resistance letting me up? Sparks in the distance, triggered by ammunition. Step into their position, lighting me up. Chimes ring, time's unwinding. What refines king? Is it all the spoils they bring? Is it the bling, crown jewels, or things like pushing through all the strains, constantly pushing chains? The answers already formed in my brain. Isn't that strange? Voices I cannot tame said I have a throne to claim. The seas start to quiet as soon as they hear my name. Forged within no fires, no worries, I am the king.
With the rhythm spread in ancient tongues, beckoning all who pause to listen. Time stands still. Sparks in the distance, a sacred
The most unlikely candidate for the throne, but as soon as I stepped on the seat, it felt like home. See, the key to becoming king isn't what you own, but impacting communities and making sure they're grown. Saw my prophecy written in a towel, so alert the empires and play the trumpet sounds. A benevolent and elegant ruler has been found. All hail the king, bring me my crown. I am king, ruler of all things. All will know the name, now let the trumpet sing. I am king, forged within the flames, appointed by the sky to bring a new reign. I am king, the reason to believe, a collective guide on how to be free. I am king until the day I leave this earth and bring love to all and bring peace.
I'm king, first and last in kind. Grand halls flowing through dreams and pools and streams.
I am king, first and last in kind, and will only be one of all time.
I'm king, first and last in kind. Grand halls flowing through dreams and pools and streams.
I am king, first and last in kind, and greatest of all time.
Flower, let these words flow.
Stripes ring, times of winding, what defines a king?
Like gilded wings on open sky.
Is it all the spoils of the ring? Is it the bling?
Dreams like a fire.
Well, you've been treated to a premiere this evening. So what we're going to do next, sticking with our theme of conversations, we're going to bring the house lights up, and we're going to make space, actually, for some questions from you about what it is you just heard. Audiences never get the chance to do this. But chances are good that something's probably your curiosity's been piqued, or you have a question about, wait, how did that come about, or what was that, or where did this come from? And so we've got Emelina here and Ethan over here. If you'll just raise your hand, we've got time for probably 5 or 6 questions. If you'll raise your hand high, they'll come find you, and this will be a very much an Oprah Winfrey moment where the microphone will be held for you, and you can ask your question, and you can ask it of Will, or of Hannah, or of Dizzy, or the musicians on the stage behind them. So this is your chance to ask those burning questions about what it is you've just heard. So who's got a question? Raise your hand high and proud that way, and we'll find you, Emily. There we go.
First off, I absolutely loved the collaboration between everyone. I'm kind of curious with Hannah, with Dizzy, and with Will, when you guys came together to put the lyrics together, did you did you like tell them kind of like, this is what you're gonna do, or was it more of coming together saying, here's all the stuff that Ade had, where do we pull this together? And then my second question is between Hannah and Dizzy. Did you guys like do this independently, or do you guys come together, it's like, okay, this is how we're gonna bounce off one another as we bring this piece together?
So I've worked with Hannah and Dizzy for a long time, and so I often have their sounds in my mind as I'm writing music, but I worked on this piece without them for a long time, and just compiled the day's lyrics, and I wrote the music, and I pictured Hannah, but also possibly other singers, as it's been being performed by other people. Sorry, Hannah, no, I'm just, I'm kidding. So I sort of tried to create that as the main template that then Dizzy and other MCs could work with a backing track, with instructions, with examples of the recording. A great MC, Spirit Child, who I've worked with a lot, had a demo version, and Dizzy listened to that. So it came together sort of with that as the backing, and then Dizzy and Hannah coming in a little later in the process.
Yeah, I mean, Will sent us definitely the prompts. I don't think he saw my lyrics until yesterday in rehearsal.
I knew they'd be great.
Yeah. He usually does trust us in this process, which is super awesome. And Hannah and I, although we share a lot of chemistry on stage, I think this is like our 3rd time performing together, which is crazy to think about.
Wow.
All of my lyrics and melodies are written for me, usually by the wonderful Will Healy, which I always tell everybody, just knows my voice and knows what to do, and I'm so grateful for that.
And it can do many things.
Hello. What was the inspiration to write this for wind ensemble as opposed to other instrumentations?
Well, one thing I like about being a composer is that a commission usually comes with some very clear parameters. It's usually, we will pay you some amount of money, and these are the instruments you will write for. It might be one kazoo, or it might be triple orchestra and boy choir. But I love the variety. So, I mean, this piece was designed around the idea of this instrumentation and inspired by the sounds of these wind instruments, and I spent a lot of time at my desk just picturing, what do trombones sound like? What does a xylophone sound like? And why would that all come together with an MC and a singer? I think the idea of the wind ensemble works really well with this kind of collaboration. There's enough power for the MC to feel supported, and for Hannah to work sort of stylistically. Wind ensemble music is very forward-thinking. It doesn't have as long of a history as orchestra music, and therefore I think it can feel very current in a way that I think works well for this. So I think they found me in a way because this sort of collaboration would work well for wind ensemble.
Dizzy, what kind of music inspires you?
Obviously hip hop, right? But I listen to a lot of K Tornado in my spare time. and a lot of jazz, actually. I listen to jazz, and I listen to a lot of 90s R&B before I write really hard lyrics, as weird as that may sound.
I was also introduced to Dizzy because an MC friend of ours said, there's somebody who can rap over absolutely anything at any moment, and you need to meet Dizzy, so, and she can.
There is definitely someone in the front that had a chord.
I'm proud. Oh. The trouble was sitting in the middle.
Oh, I'm sorry. What role did this play in your journey of grief, composing this in your grief journey? How did they coincide?
That's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I think when somebody dies, you want to feel helpful. You want to ruminate on who they were to you and, you know, what it means to you to have known that person. And so when Ade died, I knew I needed to write some piece for her. I just wasn't sure what it was going to be because I had written many pieces for her while she was living. So when I heard this piece was going to be performed in dozens and dozens of places by different MCs who could live with her words and then respond to them and think about them, it just felt like that's a good way for me to feel useful and to feel like I'm processing this through this community who, you know, doesn't know Ade but will at least know her work, and it'll help it be preserved.
Hi, I'm wondering, Will, kind of where some of the musical genres and styles and textures that you're drawing inspiration from, and how that also, I guess, kind of coincides with the previous question, how that informed some of the musical choices that you made in this piece.
Yeah, absolutely. So I play a lot of piano. I play a lot of Baroque music. Oddly enough, the thing that I end up listening to the most is like Bach and Scarlatti because I play in my apartment while procrastinating from writing music all day. So there's a lot of counterpoint and a lot of lines that I find, you know, just inspiration from the way that voices move like that. I also listen to a lot of fusion music, a lot of hip hop, a lot of neo soul, and frequently composer performers like Chris Thiele or Gabriel Kahane. There are people who I've found inspiration from, Tigran Hamasyan, who will do sort of long-form narrative pieces that don't really sound like classical music, but obviously have some kind of classical form in them. And I've found that really exciting. It was one of the reasons I thought, wow, maybe I could be a composer, because it doesn't necessarily have to sound like classical music. It can just use the narrative tools of a classical journey.
Time for one more question, one final one. Who's got the best one? Oh,
For Will, I'm wondering how you came up with those insane chord progressions. Those are crazy.
It's all Bach. It's all Bach. Well, okay, so one thing that's really interesting working with rappers and working in something that's going to engage with hip-hop in some way is most hip-hop is in 4 and mostly builds in layers and has loops. And most classical music is very focused on like where's the piece going all the time, like how is this progressing on a journey. So I would say in terms of like where did the chords come from, it's the idea of how do I make this feel comfortable enough that it feels like a loop, but it also is like pulling you toward the end of something else, which is usually the influence of a certain note in a harmony that's going to go to another note that's going to pull you. I would say, you know, thinking of a chord as 4 voices that each have their own personality that are going to go somewhere versus a chord.
Yes, love that.
Right? Sure. Oh, yeah. And you get a car, and you get a car.
That's right. Awesome. Thanks for questions. Thanks for answering those questions. We're going to give you some time to now talk with one another a little bit about what you've just heard while we do our last big stage change, and then we'll proceed with the concert. Thanks. Great. Congrats. Okay, you've had a chance to hear Dizzy do her thing in Will's piece. Now you get to hear Dizzy do her thing on her own. Welcome to the stage, Dizzy Senze.
Good morning. Before I get to what I'm about to say to you guys, I have to ask the orchestra, the ensemble here, a great question. If any of you guys want to play in this part, go to your instruments now. If not, yeah, I knew you would. Okay, back to you guys. Hi, my name is Dizzy Senze. I am an MC, world champion freestyler, a producer, an engineer, a photographer, videographer, and a human overall. I guess that's like above all. Make some noise if you're alive right now. Just checking the room, making sure we got everybody in live bodies in here. Today, we are going to do a freestyle demo. Does anybody know what freestyling is? You can raise your hand, you don't have to clap. Anybody? Anyone? In the back? That sounds like DJ O Sharp in the back. That's cheating. He's half right. I tell that to everyone, too. Freestyling is pretty much making up something right on the spot right now. It doesn't necessarily have to be rap. It can be a piano. It can be a clarinet. It can be a flute. It can be drums. Today, we're going to make a song on the spot. These guys have no idea what I'm going to say, and neither do I. Freestyling is also about comedy, so glad you're laughing. What I do need from you guys is something super simple, the words. Ensemble, you are excluded from the words. We did this already. You guys got to give them a chance. So I need words from anyone in the audience. We are not in school technically right now. We're not in class, I guess. So you don't have to raise your hand. You can just scream out a noun, a person, place, or thing. And, well, did someone say potato? Potato, tomato, tomato? Potato. Okay, do we have any other nouns? Does anyone else in the building know any nouns? You know, this is not going to work if you guys are both screaming at the same time. Because that just sounded like mashed potatoes to me. But, okay, one at a time. Someone, just one person. I guess raising the hand is going to work here. I didn't know Ohio was this rowdy. Okay, yes, all the way in the back. Friendship. Aw, so sweet. Okay, someone say something that has nothing to do with friendship. Garden gnome. You guys keeping track? Okay. Friendship, garden gnome. Let's get two more. Oh, okay. See, you guys are going to be upset because I'm only going to call one of you. So play rock, paper, scissors while I look for someone else. We'll go with someone right here in the back. Yeah, you. It's no one behind you. Horn? Corn? Orange. You pointed at your skull and said orange. Ohio, you're on a roll today. This last one. Yes. I gave instructions in the beginning of this, and I said one word, and he gave me rotisserie chicken. The other person that said garden gnome, too, like, you rolled in. But rotisserie chicken, I'm going to take that. I accept that. Yes. Your dreams have been met. Okay, now we need music. drummer man in the back, play whatever you would like. I like that. It sounds really jazzy. Anybody else in the band want to do anything before I move forward? Go ahead. Anybody want to add to that? This is your time. We good? You could play that over and over. Okay. Now, we're now in a live hip-hop show, so I need everyone to take their left hand, put it in the sky. Raise it up real high. Now wave it side to side. Oh, yeah, I like doing this. We're playing Simon Says right now. Y'all can keep it going. When I say hip, y'all say hop. Hip, hip. When I say don't, y'all say stop. Don't. Now, from front to back, if you're feeling where you at, say, oh, yeah. So, side to side, if you're feeling the vibe, say, oh, yeah. Okay. I feel well stricken. I'm cooking like rotisserie chicken. I'm still exposed. Right now, I'm a garden gnome. I'm just standing in the garden with my whole ensemble, making sure words right now that I can fondle. That sounded wild, inappropriate. But right now, I'm making my proletariats go crazy. They see me up in the crowd, waving it from side to side. We do it now, and we rapping verbs with the nouns and the adjectives, and right now, it sound profound. Okay, I'm doing things that I aren't supposed to do, but I'm seeing I'm in the forest warming. They say it's not a lot of words that you could rhyme that really rhymes with orange, unless it's a skull. I don't know why your skull is orange, but I suppose you might not really be white. But I'm black, so that's all right. Now let's keep on going right through the rhymes. I got things that I'm saying in my prompts. Ensemble, what word did I miss? If you remember, then shout it real quick. Friendship is cool. I made friends with this ensemble too. See, that was really, really quick. I made a great friendship with my main man, Nick, who's in the back. And yep, that's a fact. He didn't know I knew his name like that. So I'ma keep on snap. I got the rapping in, it's coming right now on my mind, and I can show you right now that it's cool and prom. They say it's cool like a lemon with a lime, and I'm doing all these raps in a double time, like double trouble, like I was a Barney Rubble. I've been doing it for now, but I could probably have a stubble on my face if I had a beard, but I'm a woman, so that would be weird unless I had PCOS. I guess that's cool, but it's now I'm just going on a quest. Man, I'm hopping out of whirlpool. I could write this right now all in my journal, but this ain't a written. This is something much later I'll probably be forgetting. When I'm thinking out a dream, man, I'm feeling kind of cool as I get the cream. Man, that could sound kind of funny, because Will said we did this because we was commissioned for the money. Now I'm hopping like an Energizer bunny. I didn't eat, so it's rumbling in my tummy. That's really cool, I'ma let that simmer. Mr. Jones, Dr. Jones, get us dinner, or maybe quicker. Maybe I'll remember that I could have Hakuna Matata, and that means no worries like Simba. Man, I think that that's right. I made every word sound tight and brought it back around. It's the circle of life. Thank you. My name is Dizzy Senze. That was a bunch of rhymes from my mind. Columbus, you've been great. Go Buckeyes.
back. So, as you may have noticed, Dizzy is an incredible improviser. It's one of the reasons that I love working with Dizzy. It's also one of the ways that I ended up becoming a composer. When I was a kid, I took piano lessons starting at the age of 4, and I wasn't a very diligent practicer. I would start a piece, and then I would get a little bored and I'd start to do my own thing. I would just start to do my own thing with it, which eventually led to a life of composing. Now, because Dizzy did her freestyle interlude, I thought I would do a little improvised interlude. So, much like Dizzy, I'm going to have you call out something, but it's not going to be a word, it's going to be a note. So I'm going to just yell out a note. G, E flat, F sharp, one more. B flat, was that a B flat? Okay, I think it was G, E flat, F sharp, and B flat. So we're going to start by just hearing it, and then we're going to sing it, and then I'm going to play something based on G, E flat, F sharp, B flat. All right, here we go. Nice, one more time, here we go. All right, here's my prelude on G, E flat, F sharp, and B flat.
Before we do our final piece on this evening's program, I wanted to take a brief moment because at this time of every semester, we usually have a few individuals who are in the process of performing their last concert band concert as a student here at Ohio State. And it just so happens that we have two students performing this evening who fit that category. As much as we keep trying to talk them into not graduating and staying put, which we do all the time here, but they must go forth and do great things in the world. So I'd like to ask these two individuals to stand, and then we can acknowledge their contributions. Quite honestly, both of them have contributed to this ensemble for a number of years and gone above and beyond the musical contributions to also step into leadership positions and to very often do the things behind the scenes that needed to be done without being asked. So they're two pretty special individuals. And so I'd like to recognize two clarinetists, as a matter of fact, Jacob Behrend. And Zachary Grant. Good. We are deeply indebted to you both, and we wish you great success in the future and that you'll stay in touch with us, for sure. In the summer of 1905 and 1906, an Australian composer by the name of Percy Grainger toured Lincolnshire, England, collecting, of all things, folk songs. And he had a journal with him in which he transcribed and wrote down those folk songs, but he also carried on his back a phonograph with a wax cylinder recorder and actually talked some of these folk singers into actually allowing themselves to be recorded on these wax cylinders. And for those of you that would like to explore that further, you can hop on the internet and actually search for Lincolnshire Posey wax cylinder recordings, and you can actually hear those recordings. But in the theme that we're exploring this evening, what kind of conversations they must have had. This contraption, this man with this Australian accent showing up in the countryside of England and saying, "Hi, would you please sing into this contraption?" It's an incredible thought experiment, and it's an even more incredible wind band composition. In 1937, Percy Grainger, then living in the United States, would return to those folk songs and put together a suite of those folk songs called Lincolnshire Posey. It was premiered in 1937, wasn't extraordinarily well received, but has gone on to achieve a kind of a cornerstone place in our repertoire. We are delighted to present 5 of those movements to you this evening. They're listed here above the screen. And without further ado, we'll let the folk singers share their stories. And Percy Grainger dedicated this piece to the folk singers who sang so sweetly to me. So they're 5 portraits of those folk singers that you're about to hear. Lincolnshire Posey by Percy Grainger. let's finish the evening by bringing back to the stage Will and Hannah and Dizzy to send us off into the evening, but make sure you stop by the reception and continue the conversation with us there in N160. Will, Hannah, Dizzy, come make music for us to bring us home tonight.
Let's get Dizzy a microphone. This song is called Beyond, with music and lyrics by me. Can we call this heaven? The ability to control and collect the mind and the body so that we can respect ourselves and one another. Our sisters and brothers, every other, we all come from the same mother. Oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, calcium, and phosphorus. How do we get lost in this when all of us are made of 6? All of us the same, different only by name, and thoughts created. Our brains shaped and trained, making us feel insane, all because of what came first. Before us whom we were birthed, but that cannot decide your worth. Thoughts will come and they will go, and it will rain, and you will know that when it rains, there's always flowers. Out of pain we can find power, because all of this is ours. There is no key, there is no gate. It's never too far, never too late, because you're in control. You can create, so create. Whatever it is, you decide to create. Oh, I traveled into the unknown, feeling everything unwinding. Call it sorcery, you call it energy. You went to seek and now I'm finding. Yellow skies, all those eyes, and I was waiting for the time to step inside. Yellow skies, all those eyes, and now it's time to step inside. Oh, I guess this is beyond. I've been wandering for so long. Take the pain away, melt like rain today. The less you have, the more you are. I guess this is beyond. Baby, come to play up in outer space. See the galaxy we are. Come on, Dizzy.
We got a problem, Houston. I needed space, now I'm flying up to where the moon is. Always knew I'd be a star. Couldn't picture me being a parent, but somehow I'm raising the bar. Light years ahead, I guess it was right when they say I take it too far. On a quest for a galaxy. On it, I found me the baddest queen. The way she was looking attractive. I caught some feelings at rapid speeds. Never remember her